The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed Channel is brought to you by Craftsman, celebrating 10 years tough of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And by Ford, the Ford Family Plan, the Ford family to the American family. Welcome. Let's look at this 3/4 mile oval, Phil.
It's a little bit different. Each end of the racetrack is a little bit different because you basically have a tri-oval down the front stretch. The corners are both banked 11 degrees. You've got a very tight entrance getting in turn number 2. We've got a wide sweeping entrance getting in turn number 1.
Look at the Craftsman race analysis. Again, 36 trucks will start.
200 laps, 150 miles. Purse is over $500,000, and the pit window is about 115 to 125 laps.
Trucks are beginning to roll off of pit road. Let's take a look at our Domino starting grid. Up front, Brandon Witt claims his first ever pole in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Just outside of him, a hot driver and finished third the past 2 races, David Rudiman.
There's our last year's champion inside road number 2, Bobby Hamilton. Terry Cook, such a heartbreak last time out. Inside of 5 laps to go with a big lead, cut a tire down, hit the wall.
And then you got Ron Hornaday Jr. and Terry Cook, and those are 2 guys that are well overdue for a win.
Ron Hornaday won the first race here at Memphis.
See Rick Crawford back after his long streak of consecutive races ended a couple weeks ago at Kentucky because of a qualifying crash. He's back here starting on the outside of row number 5.
Inside row 7, Dennis Setzer, another former winner at Memphis.
David Starr had a good top 10 run at Kentucky a couple weeks ago. Starts outside row number 9.
Johnny Benson searching for that win in the Truck Series to complete the trifecta for him. Wins in Cup and Busch, but nothing yet in the Truck Series.
Boy, if you look at anything to do with it, look at Robert Presley. It's a hot day, and he's got Eddie's ice cream on the truck. That's a cool thing. And the last name Presley in Memphis, you think he'd do for a win. If Elvis is up there, he could help him.
John Andretti makes his second start in Billy Ballou's number 15. Had a great top 10 run at Kansas a couple of races ago.
Rounding out the field, Tam Topham and Roland Isaacs. 40 trucks were on hand to try to make this field. 36 are in. 4 did not make it. There are the 4 that were not able to get into this field for the O'Reilly 200. We'll be riding along with a few different drivers. We'll start off with the Team ASC Dodge, driven by Jimmy Spencer. He'll start 31st.
David Starr starts in the 18th position. He has had a couple top 10s here at Memphis out of 4 starts.
And then you have Dennis Setzer, and I mean he's Mr. Excitement right now. He's got more wins than anybody, and he's on a hot streak. And I'm sure everyone's going to try to derail his good fortune.
David Rudiman would love to get out front and win the first race for his team owner, Darrell Waltrip, since he has jumped into the Toyota stables. Brandon Witt has the possibility of winning $18,000 for his team if he is able to win from the pole. The Craftsman win from the pole award up to $18,000 now. If he doesn't win, $2,000 will again be added to the purse. That continues to grow. There's $50,000 that have been made available by Craftsman for the winners from the pole in the Craftsman Truck Series. Let's go back down to pit road and Wendy Norris.
Thanks, Rick. You'll see the 47 truck is in the field tonight, and it's usually occupied with an all-star driver. We've seen Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte in the truck, but tonight we have a new kid on the block making his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start. He's a Joe Gibbs development driver, and he's only 21 years old. Eric Almarillo driving for Morgan Dollar Motorsports tonight. Now, he qualified 33rd. He's in the back, but he got a little loose in qualifying. He actually was pretty fast on the charge in both practices. What's important here, he has plenty of experience behind him on pit road. He has experienced crew chief Randy Goss. He has his coach as Dennis Setzer, and he also has a Joe Gibbs engine in there tonight. Ray?
Hey, Wendy, tonight Robert Huffman makes his 40th career start. He's in the number 12 truck, had a good qualifying effort, but the bad news is he has yet to make a top 5 finish in his career here in Craftsman Truck Series. Now, our next race is at Indianapolis Raceway Park in 2 weeks, and Robert will not be driving that truck. And throughout the rest of the year, they will have another driver in for most of the season. That driver drives in the Nextel Cup Series. Now, because of legal contracts, I can't tell you exactly who it's going to be yet, but I can tell you this. His uniform will be very, very clean.
And I think that was a pretty good hint. Ray normally throws out pretty good hints. Flagman letting him know that one more time around we'll see the green flag. The lights are off now in the pace truck.
We saw a lot of the drivers swerve around. You wouldn't think that they would have to get much heat in these tires, as hot as it is here, but they want to get a little bit of heat, get a little bit closer towards operating temperatures when they start.
7 different winners have won here in the 7 different starts, and if you look at where they started, no one has ever won this race from outside the top 5.
It does pay to start up front here because this is a pretty difficult racetrack to pass on.
Just on the outside of that top 5, starting 6th, Terry Cook. Ford still looking for their first win of 2005. It's 2 Toyotas up front, though, leading the field.
How about Brandon Witt coming off his best career finish a couple of weeks ago at Kentucky? He finished 6th and comes right back here and backs it up with a pole. Great job by Jamie Jones and his guys and Brandon Witt.
Shows that Brandon Witt not only can run well on the 1.5 mile, he can also run well on the short tracks. This 3/4 mile Memphis Motorsports Park. He will bring the field to the green flag as the flag flies through the air. We're underway with the O'Reilly 200. Phil, early on, I want to point out, I think I saw from the 04 of Bobby Hamilton, maybe some overflow coming out of on the right side of the hood. Could we be having heat problems early on like this?
Well, we shouldn't be. No more than they've run these engines just a few minutes. But a lot of times they run so slow here on the pace laps. A lot of times these trucks will overheat. Now you're running 120, actually up to 130 miles an hour on the straightaways. So that'll push a lot of air through the radiator to cool these things back off.
Plus, a lot of times they kind of overfill the water tank, and some of the excess just kind of blows off when they're running slow. Pretty amazing how patient everybody is at the start, all getting single file pretty early. Unusual for the NASCAR Truck Series.
See Todd Cleaver, the 50 truck, works to the inside of the 22 of Bill Lester. There's David Starr, his Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet right there. That's turn 1. You want to stay right next to that curb. You want the proper way, the preferred way around this racetrack is right on the bottom.
Do you think as the race goes on, the outside groove will come in?
Well, last year, Boris, Bobby Hamilton made the pass for the win on Shane Neal on the outside down in turns 3 and 4. So the outside groove will definitely work.
Riding on board with David Starr in that Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet. Tries to make his way around Mike Skinner. Ever so close to the wall here.
You want to use all the racetrack you can. You want to get a good angle. You want to be able to arc that truck right into the corner from the outside wall down right to the curb on the inside of the racetrack.
Now, Brandon Witt being out front, leading this race, having the pole, is he at all, could he be a little bit naive and driving too hard too early?
Well, you definitely want to save the tires, but most of the crew chiefs and the drivers in the garage here told me they put upwards of 60 or 70 laps on their tires in practice and really saw not a great deal of fall off as far as lap times go. So they think they have a pretty good tire here. It's essentially the same tire that Goodyear brought last year. It's exactly the same right side tire. It's a little bit different construction on the left side, but the same compound. So very, very similar tires to what we had last year.
Battle for 9th, 10 Musgrave, and the 14 of Rick Crawford. The heat was an issue early on and all day, and now the sun beginning to set on this 3/4 mile track. But it's Brandon Witt holding on to the top spot. He started on the pole for the first time in his career, and he's holding on to it.